All right, welcome everyone to our March Rooted in STEM talk. We are so excited to bring Dr. Onyeka Abengowe. I swear
It's okay.
She is an amazing nuclear medical technologist and imaging workforce strategist, career transformation coach, a mentor with over 2 decades of clinical experience in nuclear medical technology, and as the founder of the Innovo Spark Consulting LLC and Super Nuke Tech Academy. She is on a mission to bridge the gap between talent and opportunity, empowering aspiring and early career nuclear medicine technologists to become high-performing professionals and helping healthcare organizations build dynamic, skilled, and resilient imaging teams. Her work extends beyond clinical practice, shaping workforce solutions that drive innovation, efficiency, and excellence in healthcare delivery. She holds a doctorate in healthcare administration, an MBA in healthcare management, and a master's of science in microbiology, in addition to numerous industry certifications, all of which position her at the intersection of clinical excellence, medical education, and workforce transformation. She is committed to elevating the field of nuclear medicine technology, inspiring future STEM leaders, and delivering meaningful change in healthcare. Through her Flourish Her initiative, she has collaborated with nonprofits to empower women and girls, equipping them with the skills, resources, and confidence to overcome barriers and thrive. Beyond her professional endeavors, she is a passionate mentor, guiding high school students through their career journeys, volunteering at local food banks, and serving on her church's prayer team. She resides in Garland with her husband and 2 children, which I think we got them here today. 3 children, and
My
we're
husband's not here.
thank you so much, and the floor is yours.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm excited that I'm able to do this. This is one of my favorite things to do. To not just talk about nuclear medicine, but also to inspire others to chase their dreams, literally. So I'm thankful for this opportunity. So today I'm going to share how having a clear vision while staying flexible and open to change can literally transform both your personal and your professional journey. And if you can go onto that slide with the bridge, I love this slide. So imagine that you're standing right there on this side of the bridge. And the other side is your future. This is today, that's your future. And there's a bridge there. What connects you today and the future is that bridge, it's your future. So just kind of have that picture in your mind that wherever you are today, the future is connected to today by whatever your vision is. And Tony Robbins said, success is not just about achieving goals, but it's about becoming the person, that transformation, becoming that person who can achieve them. So in the same manner, your vision is more than just setting goals, not just that goal. It's about taking ownership and embracing opportunities to build a bridge that connects today to your future. So I'm going to go on now to one of the things that I like to talk about. I love the GPS analogy. Who uses GPS here? Everybody on a daily basis, I do. And I love it a lot. So much so that I use it even when I know where I'm going. I know how to get to where I'm going, but I still use the GPS. Why? Because she tells me, I use the GPS lady, because she tells me if there's a delay, she will tell me how many minutes there might be of delay. She also gives me alternate routes that I could take to avoid the delay. So I love all that about the GPS. And I want to connect that to a strong vision. A strong vision is like a GPS. It provides direction, but the route isn't always linear. There are detours, sometimes it's just construction. Some other times, just surprises, road closures that the GPS is not yet aware of. And you get there, it's a surprise, and then it reroutes and gets you to your destination through a different route. So a detour might introduce you to a path that you never imagined, that you didn't know existed. A roadblock may force you to gain strength that you did not even know that you had. Also, a surprise turn could lead you to where you were always meant to be anyway, that you hadn't even planned for. So each experience, everything that you experience, whether it's a detour, whether it's a surprise, whatever it is, it adds a break to that bridge. And every time you have the opportunity to add a break to that bridge, take advantage of that, because that's what connects today. At that time, that's what connects today to your future. So now, my career journey, how did it begin and how did I get here? I grew up in Nigeria, and growing up, I was so set on being a doctor, a medical doctor. I knew I wanted to be a surgeon at that time, okay? So confident about that, that my textbooks, I wrote doctor in front of my name on my textbooks. So imagine a high school kid on my textbooks, they had Dr. Onyeka, So that was how much I loved science, technology, and mathematics. And at that time, STEM wasn't even a term. It didn't exist at that time. That's been a little bit. But interestingly, during my preparation for this talk, I came across information that shows that STEM actually began as SMET, S-M-E-T. So in the 1990s, it was SMET. But in 2001, Judith Bramley was the then director of the National Science Foundation, and she rebranded it to STEM, which is way cooler than SMET. So we could have been saying, welcome to the SMET series, but I love STEM better than SMET. So my bachelor's degree was in microbiology and biochemistry, and I was really fascinated with the microscope, and also with the microscopic processes in the body that could be leveraged for diagnosis and treatment. And nuclear medicine technology was not available to me. It wasn't an option. Matter of fact, it's still developing in Nigeria. So if I was back in Nigeria, I probably wouldn't have been in nuclear medicine. But the foundation that I had with the microbiology and biochemistry prepared me for a future career that I didn't even existed at the time. So when I moved to the United States years later, one of the jobs that I had was as a technical support associate with Vison Technologies. So one of the days at lunch, randomly, one of my colleagues mentioned that his cousin was a nuclear medicine technologist, and that got my attention, and I was like, what is that? Never heard it before. So I researched about nuclear medicine, applied to Baylor University Medical Center in Dallas, the nuclear medicine technology program. And this is 22 years later now. So that's how I got into nuclear medicine technology. Now to the present, how did I build a career beyond the technologist role? I've always known from my early days as a technologist that I would do something beyond being just, playing the technologist role, which is essentially acquire images and all that. But I wasn't sure exactly what form it was going to take, but I knew I wanted to do more. But my experience is working in hospital environments, in outpatient, inpatient, in even in independent imaging centers. During all that, I saw gaps that needed to be filled. I saw that it took more than just having the technical expertise to be able to deliver good patient care. And I am one to do my best to be exceptional in anything that I do. If I was going to do it, I was going to do it really well. At least I would do my best to do it really well. So I knew that I was going to need to do more than just acquire studies, turn into the radiologist. And the gaps that I observed were, things that could be fixed, but it needed targeted workforce development and mentorship to achieve those. Healthcare's delivery is complicated. It's not straightforward. There's a lot of nuances with healthcare. I didn't have the tools at that time that I needed to be able to make any meaningful change. So I knew I needed to know more. So to gain deeper insight into those complexities and challenges with healthcare delivery, I went back to school and I got my MBA in healthcare management. And after a little bit, I also got the doctorate degree in healthcare administration. And then with everything that I learned, the insight that I gained, that's how I was able to start Innova Consulting. And the goal is not to retrain, because the training programs are great at delivering the technical knowledge. This time around, I'm focusing more on workforce development. Just those little things that make healthcare delivery what it should really be, which it's not get a patient, throw them on the table, tell them, now I'm going to inject you with radioactivity, and just get them under the camera and get it done. There's the human side of it, how you communicate, the empathy, how you hold a patient's hand when they're scared. You're walking, the patient walks in, already they have a diagnosis that they are scared about. And then you tell them, this is nuclear medicine, I'm going to inject radioactivity in you, they're probably claustrophobic, and you just throw them in the tunnel. No, that's not how we do it. So there is that human side, and those are the things that I want to focus on to make sure that the patients get the best experience possible. Now, despite successfully navigating multiple career transitions across 2 continents, coming from Nigeria and here to America to, get myself into the system and find my place. Even though I did that successfully, I didn't seek out career transformation coaching. It found me. So typically, I've been giving advice, career advice to family members, friends, colleagues at work. Patients would ask me about their children's careers and all that, and I was happy to answer those questions. But I never saw it as a calling. I just thought, okay, nuclear medicine. I never saw it as a calling. But when somebody approached me and said, you know what, I would like you to guide me through the career transformation, career change, and I was like, okay. I'm not a coach, because that's what I thought. I never said I was a coach. But, sometimes when that happens, you realize the power of embracing life's unexpected turns. And, you see the opportunity and use it for growth and reinvention. And that's what happened. That's how I went into career transformation coaching. So today I work with women, especially women in healthcare, and I help them break through career stagnation because I experienced it. At some point, I knew I didn't want to just be a technologist, I wanted to do more. And so now I'm using that experience of how I went through all the things, all the turns and all the surprises. And now I'm also passing that on to women and helping them make changes in their careers and really build careers outside of their traditional roles that they were used to. So now we're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about the STEM students and STEM healthcare careers and what you have ahead of you. So as students, STEM students, you are in a unique position to shape the future of healthcare. The demand for skilled, we're gonna get to this one, thank you. The demand for skilled STEM professionals is growing rapidly. And healthcare is one of those areas where you really have the opportunity to make both immediate and long-term impact. STEM professionals are becoming the driving force in healthcare there, behind groundbreaking advancements. There's so much that's possible now, and it's all because of STEM students, STEM graduates, STEM professionals. So if you're drawn to direct patient care like I was, or like I am, medical imaging technology would be a great place to look at. It's a rewarding career, there's high demand for it, and there's strong growth potential. There's a lot of expansion going on. Also, it gives you the opportunity to use both your technical expertise and just, being able to apply what you know, what you've learned technically, and inject some of your personality into it too. Because again, like I said earlier, it's not just about technical expertise. It gives you the opportunity to pull from everything else that makes up who you are and make the experience good for your patients. Beyond clinical roles, there's also healthcare technology, there's artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, data analytics, and all these are transforming diagnostics, they're helping in treatment planning and management, patient management. So here are some examples of STEM healthcare careers. Okay, it's okay. Oh my God, I don't think I have that on the slide. So it's medical imaging technology, which nuclear medicine is one of them, including PET. So PET is part of nuclear medicine. There's the MRI, there's also CT. There's biomedical engineering, which I know some of you here are already familiar with. There is medical physics, and those deal with radiation safety and compliance. There's radiation therapy, and those use ionizing radiation to treat cancer. There's also medical dosimetry. So what they do is they do treatment planning for cancer. And then there's radiopharmaceutical research and development. So what that is that they work with they work in the radiopharmaceutical companies like nuclear pharmacies and all that. And what they do is that they help to develop those radioisotopes as far as the targeted therapies that are used. In healthcare informatics, healthcare analytics, these are all STEM careers that you can look into. And so now we're going to talk about my favorite STEM healthcare career, which of course is nuclear medicine. So we're going to talk about nuclear medicine technology now. And I'm going to ask with a show of hands, who is familiar with nuclear medicine before today's talk? Who was familiar with nuclear medicine technology? Because typically what it is I walk into a room and I'm like, nuclear medicine technology, and the look on their faces is like, what is that? That's typically the reaction. But nuclear medicine technology combines math, physics, chemistry, computer science, and medicine. We use radioactive tracers, which are also called radiopharmaceuticals, to assess organ function, diagnose and treat diseases. And how does that work? That's right there. It starts with the tracer being injected, inhaled, or ingested. And then they accumulate in what we call the organ of interest, which is what we're interested in imaging. And then the gamma camera captures the radiation that's emitted from the patient and uses it to form images. Unlike X-rays, which the radiation comes from the equipment and passes through the patient. In nuclear medicine, the patient is the source. The patient is the radiation source. And then the camera just picks it up and forms images. In medical imaging, we complement each other for the most part. For example, I had a colleague in ultrasound, and what we did was every time there was a parathyroid scan to be done, they will do their ultrasound first, so we don't expose them to radioactivity. And then we would do the nuclear medicine scan second. But we always compared notes. And sometimes it's really interesting how when they see a parathyroid adenoma on ultrasound, you can also see it in the nuclear medicine scan. And it's fascinating to be able to complement each other that way. But sometimes there are conditions that are not seen with structural imaging modalities. When I say structural, the X-rays, CT, MRI, the ultrasounds, those are structural because all they see is what the organ looks like. But nuclear medicine is the functional modality because we're all about function. It might look right, but it may not work right. So medical imaging, we help each other. It's not about which one is better. It's about everybody playing their role. The structural people see what it looks like, and then the functional people see how the organ works. And together it helps the doctors to be able to make the right diagnosis. So with technology rapidly, and actually this slide here shows one of those situations where only nuclear medicine was able to give them an answer. So this on the left side here is a CT scan, and that's an ultrasound. And in this case here, this young man had been having trouble with abdominal pain and all that, and it says for 7 years. So CT was normal, ultrasound was normal, but the trouble continued. And then eventually he gets a HIDA scan, and the HIDA scan shows that his ejection fraction, which is a measure of how well the gallbladder is working, is only 22%. Conservatively, it should be at least 35%. So this person had that trouble all this while and had multiple, for 7 years, and had multiple ultrasound and CT, and everything was normal. Until the nuclear medicine HIDA scan showed that actually everything wasn't normal. If you would go on to the next one. So here are some of those advancements that have come about in nuclear medicine. AI and automation, everybody's talking about AI. So now it can be used in motion correction, scheduling, preliminary reads, and it just helps to minimize or reduce the workload for radiologists. theranostics. And theranostics is a groundbreaking approach that combines diagnosis and treatment into one purpose. So into one process. Anytime that you can both diagnose and treat the patient is a winner, because they're going through that process one time and not multiple processes. Hybrid imaging combines nuclear medicine and a structural modality like CT, and that helps for better diagnosis. The next slide there. Yes, so this is an example of hybrid imaging, where a CT image is on the left, and on the right is a combination of CT and PET. And you can see there that there's that tumor right there, which is not obvious on the CT. But in combination with PET, now you can see that clearly. And the radiologist can say with confidence that there's something going on there. So that's an advantage of hybrid imaging. And I had skipped an example of theranostics. Has anybody heard about Pluvicto? The commercial, there's commercial always on the TV. Pluvicto is one of those theranostics. It's used for prostate cancer treatment. Another one is called Y90, it's yttrium-90, and that is used for metastatic liver tumors, to treat metastatic liver tumors. And they introduce it just like the same way that they would have in the cath lab, where they would have a cardiac cath. That's kind of the same way that they introduce it to the liver. And of course, all these new advancements that were not there way back then. Another new thing that's happening is career expansion, radiopharmaceutical research and development, there's biotechnology. Now in regulatory affairs also, education and industry consulting. These are all what STEM professionals can do, and not just in their one field. So now I want to ask you, I need you to ask yourself, where do I see myself in the next 5 years? For those of you that are students, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And what kind of impact do you want to make? And even for those of us who are not students, where do we see ourselves in the next 5 years? What are we doing now? What do we hope to do in the next 5 years? What kind of impact do we want to make in the next 5 years? So if you already have the answer, you're pretty close. But if you don't have the answer, that's still great, because there's a lot of time for growth and advancement. But the important thing is getting started with asking that question. The most successful people didn't have all the answers. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Cuban, Jeff Bezos, they didn't know what they were doing literally. They just had the dream. They just had this, vision. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. They didn't know the answers. They didn't know how exactly it was going to get done. But they started. And as they went along, they learned. They took steps to make it happen. But they also made changes along the way as they were going. So that's really the whole goal of, you're gonna define your vision, but also embrace the journey and adjust as you go along. So we're gonna go to something a little bit more fun than just the talk. Our first live poll: what do you think about AI's role in STEM careers? A, will AI replace many jobs? Will it create new opportunities? Will it enhance but not replace human role? And I have a D, which is not included here, all of the above. What do you think?
Answer in the chat for those of you who are online.
Yes. What do you think is the answer? A, B, C, or D?
Yeah.
If you said all of the above, you are correct, because all of these things are true. All of these things are true. Sorry, if you would go to the next slide. Yes, all of these things are true. So people are here worried about AI, but AI actually envies us humans. Because it says, I wish I have some real intelligence and empathy like real people do, which it doesn't have. It's also saying, and real people are funny, but it's not. So AI will replace task-oriented jobs. Anything that's task-oriented that they can just put in a code and say, do this, do this, do that, AI will replace it definitely, but not jobs that require human intelligence and critical thinking. AI will enhance what you do if you learn how to use it to your advantage. AI cannot replace the human touch in patient care. Like I said earlier, it can hold patients' hands, you know? So it will not replace those of us that find ourselves in careers that go beyond just tasks, performing tasks. So how do you chart your own path? The most exciting thing, or one of the most exciting things about STEM careers is that there is no single entry point. There are multiple entry points. There's cross-disciplinary opportunities available and endless potential for growth. You might begin in one role, but then as you go along and learn more and experience more, you would expand into other roles. But the key thing is to stay curious. You have to stay. Curiosity is a must. You have to stay curious. You also have to be adaptable. You have to be proactive in seeking opportunities. Explore internships and research opportunities. Any opportunity to get to be an intern somewhere that is around the realm of what you're interested in, take that opportunity. Network and find mentors. Surround yourself with professionals, engage with faculty, industry experts, and even your peers that share some interest with you. Embrace lifelong learning. You have to be open to learning because healthcare is evolving. There's a lot of change happening. Technology, nobody can stop it. We just have to walk with it. So you have to be open to certifications, graduate programs, emerging technologies, Internet of IoT, Internet of Things, that's what it's called. So you have to be open. Think beyond traditional roles. Don't stick with, this is how it's supposed to be. Think beyond traditional roles. The most successful professionals are those that are able to innovate. So don't be afraid to step outside of the traditional roles. Consider interdisciplinary roles. Okay. Look for careers that blend STEM with business, AI, public health, or education. Don't just stick with one lane. This is no longer that era where you stick with one lane. This is the era where you have to find applications of what it is that you're interested in, but don't stay just in one lane. So now we will go to another poll. And this time it will be about essential skills for future careers. So question is, which skills do you believe will be most important for STEM healthcare careers in the next 5 years? Artificial intelligence and automation, leadership and communication, research and data analysis, problem solving and adaptability, emotional intelligence and empathy. I already gave you the answer. And really, there's no wrong answer. It depends on what it is you're interested in. Every one of them is really important. Some are more relevant to what you want to do than others. So there is no wrong answer there. Just know what's relevant for what you are trying to do. So today I'm going to challenge you. And my challenge to you is a 30-day challenge. Refine your vision. Find mentors in your field of fields, because I know you can be interested in one-on-one field. Find mentors in those fields so that they can provide insight and guidance. Because many times we think we know what we want, but if we sit down with somebody who is able to ask us certain questions, then we realize that what we thought we wanted is really not what we want. So that's very important. The next thing that I want you to do is write down a bold career action that you will take in the next 30 days, an actual action, something that you will do, not plan to do. For example, you can set a skill development goal. Say you're interested in medical physics. Then you might, okay, what are the skills that I need to be successful as a medical physicist? And you list those skills, and it's like, okay, I'm going to learn this one skill. In the next 30 days, I'm going to find a way to learn this skill. That's my challenge. And that's an example. It might be something else that you're interested in doing. But as long as you take a step towards your career, towards your future, that is what I'm asking you to do. And then, if you would share it on LinkedIn, how many here are on LinkedIn? Okay, please follow me. Connect with me. So if you would share with the hashtag #MySTEMCareerStep, so you can track your progress and inspire others, and please tag me. Okay. So that's what I'm asking you to do. So in closing, I want to remind you that success is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about taking action, building relationships, and embracing lifelong learning. That's what makes you successful, not just being the smartest person in the room. Your degree is the foundation. Whatever you have now, or whatever you're aspiring to get, is the beginning. There's still more room for growth. And then also your vision is your bridge to success. If you remember that earlier picture that we saw, between you and your future is that bridge. You have to build it with intention. This is not like, oh, I dabble here, dabble there, I'm not sure exactly. It takes a little work to really intentionally ask, where am I headed? Where do I want to be? And strengthening with knowledge and skills acquisition. Those are really what will help you build that bridge. And then as you build it, or when you build it, walk across it with confidence. Because guess what? You did the work. And if you do the work, be confident to say, yes, I did the work, and this is where it got me. So the world is waiting, and I know that everybody here, you're brilliant, you can make a lot of impact, you have a lot to offer. If anybody's saying you're not enough, that's a big lie. You have a lot to offer. And your attention should be on the fact that you are going to get to where you're going. So take it seriously. I know I don't need to be telling you to take it seriously, but the reason that I say that is because we tend to not give ourselves as much credit as we deserve. So go get it done, go build your legacy. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
And we have some time for
Yes.
some questions.
Yes.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and now, before we have to run, here is our feedback link. You know what to do. And for those of you who are still online, you can go ahead and put your questions in the chat and I will read them out. So, thank you. All right, questions?
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad that, you found something to take away from it.
Any questions online? Okay, yes.
Yeah, it was really nice. I was wondering if like. How, I'm sure you see it often, and I'm wondering like the advice you normally give or the direction you. Maybe recommend for, like, 'cause if somebody has, for example, a break in their career, whether that's for. You know, if they're having a child or something, and then they end up taking a break to be there. I guess what advice do you give them, or do you see, I mean, how often do you see that, or just?
It does happen quite a bit, more so with women than with men. And what you have to remember is it's not about the gap itself. It's about how you represent it. Because it should be a strength and not a weakness. We are all human. Life happens, things happen. But as long as you're able to frame it in a way that you didn't walk away. This was the reason, like there are people who decide that when they're ready to have children, they're going to take the whole time off. After they have children, they will get back to work. It's not a weakness, it's a strength that you're able to pull back and do what you need to do at the time and then get back to your career. Another thing that happens is the fact that you're not the same person when you get back. You didn't lose anything. Things have changed, but you have gained a lot yourself that you're not actually going to be looking for the same things that you looked for earlier. And so my advice in those kind of situations is, first of all, check yourself. What do you want now? Because you may not want to go back to where you were before. So first of all, what do you want now? How do you have transferable skills from what you did before to what you want to do now? If not, are there skills that you need to gain that will help you pivot to what you're trying to go to? And then if you're able to answer those questions, now the thing is, how do you frame your time off? It can be framed as you wanted to take time off and attend to your family. And then now you are pivoting here. And here are the skills that you bring with you. And then if you acquired all the skills while you were at home or while you were away, here are other skills that I've acquired. So it's a matter of how you frame it. If you see it as a problem, it becomes a problem for you, and then you'll be explaining yourself. But you don't owe anybody any explanation, really. It's your choice. You decided to do this, and now you're picking up here, and here are the skills that you bring to the table. Does that help?
Last call for questions. Thank you so very much for coming out today. Thank you for everyone who attended and for everyone who is going to see this later. Thank you. Please feel free to do that feedback form as long as that is live. Again, I cannot thank everyone enough for making this talk happen, and thank you so much for your time.
Anytime, if I can be a resource to you in any way, if I don't have the answer myself, I'll find a way, I'll find the answer, and I'll get back to you. Thank you.